that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review, another special Kickstarter review. And today I'm very excited to be checking out the expansion to Good Cop, Bad Cop, Bombers and Traitors from Overworld Games. This is for 3 to 8 players, ages I'd say about 10 and up, and it'll take about 15 to 30 minutes to play. And in Good Cop, Bad Cop, Bombers and Traitors, you are going to be adding 2 unique roles to the game where you could potentially be a treacherous traitor trying to outlast everyone else, or a suicide bomber trying to get shot. There's also going to be some new equipment cards and potentially some other new goodies. Sound intriguing? Let's open it up and see how it works. Okery dokery, we're going to be taking a look at Good Cop, Bad Cop, Bombers, and Traitors. We're going to be taking a look at it on our handy-dandy grip mat, which turns every game into a space game. But before we get started, I do want to mention that this is the promotional copy I have in front of me, so take everything you see here with a grain of salt. So, if you don't know how to play Good Cop, Bad Cop, go back, watch my old video of it. It is an absolutely fantastic game, one of my top games of last year, and I'm just going to be going over what you're going to be getting new in this expansion and how it works. So, first and foremost, we have our handy-dandy rule sheet. As you can probably guess, this is the draft. Yours is going to look much nicer, much fancier than this one, but as you can see, there's not too much here because it is a very simple addition to the game. So, what are you going to be getting? The first thing you're going to be getting 16 new roll cards. Now, these are going to be very similar to the old roll cards you had, which will have Honest and Crooked and your Kingpin and your Agent. But you may notice there are some different symbols on the top left and the bottom right of these cards. There's going to be bombs, and there's going to be knives, and then some cards will have bombs and knives on them. That's because in Bombers and Traitors, there are going to be 2 new roles that you could potentially have in the game, which are obviously Bombers and Traitors. So first we're going to get to the Traitor. So how this works is, if all 3 of your face-down cards have a knife on them, or, you know, if you have one face-up, if all 3 of the cards in front of you have a knife on them, you are going to be what's called a Traitor, which means you just want to survive. You want to survive, and you want one of the Kingpin or the Agent to die. And if that happens, then you have won the game. So everyone else on both teams is going to want to make sure that there are no traitors out there and eliminate them before they kill off the Kingpin or the Agent. Next, you are going to have the Bombers. And if you have 3 bomb symbols in front of you, either face down, face up, doesn't really matter, you are going to be what's called a suicide bomber. And this is really, really intriguing because if you get shot and you have all 3 bombs in front of you because you're a suicide bomber, you win the game and everyone, good cops, bad cops, traitors, everybody else loses the game. So this means that everyone has to make absolutely sure that before they shoot somebody, they're absolutely sure that they are in fact not a bomber, because if they're a bomber and they shoot them, well then boom, game over, bomber wins the game. So those are going to be the 2 new roles you're going to get, Bombers and Traitors. In addition, there's also going to be 5 new equipment cards. Now, I did check out the not the Facebook page, but the Kickstarter page, and there are stretch goals to add more, so hopefully they can reach that. But we'll go over the 5 additional equipment cards you're going to get. The first one, you have classified orders. It's for 5 or more players. You may use this when any player is firing a gun. Choose any player other than yourself. That player is going to be able to change where the gun is aiming before it fires. Wow, that can completely shake things up, because essentially, if Johnny's pointing his gun over here, you're going to play this card and you're going to say, alright, no, Rick, over here, you're going to completely reposition this gun to someone else. And if they're not on your team, well, they might just aim it back at you. So you better make sure that when you play this card, you know who is on your team. So that's the classified orders card. Next, we have the fake ID. You're going to swap any 2 face-up, crooked, or honest integrity cards on the table. This card may be used on players that have been eliminated. And let me tell you, this one can completely sway the game, especially at the end when it looks like one side's about to win. You play this card with somebody who potentially has a gun in their hand, you can completely alter how that game is going to end. So that's the fake ID card. Next, you have the grenade. This one kind of shortens up the game. It's a wild card, let me tell you that. Give this to any player. At the end of that player's next turn, they give it to another player. At the end of the other player's turn, they are shot. It's a cheap way to go, but I tell you what, it's a nice little hot potato that one really is an interesting card. Next, you have the holster. Used when you shoot a gun. You may choose to change your aim and shoot a different person. This is probably my favorite card of the new expansion because I like this because you can point at someone even though you know for a fact you're not going to shoot them, just so you can, get people on edge and keep them guessing, and then you can be like, actually, I'm going to put it over here, and boom, pull the trigger. It's a really good way to trick people into what team you're on. It really adds a nice little fun element to the game. Last card we have is the Fingerprint Kit. Investigate any player. You may choose to turn one of your face-down integrity cards face up. If you do so, put the Fingerprint Kit back in your hand. Now this one, when we first got it, I got a couple questions like, why would you possibly want to do this? And this one really pertains to the Bombers and Traitors one. Because if you're worried you're about to get shot, you might have this card, you might say, you know what, I'm going to reveal this one bomb card. So now everybody's on edge. They're like, don't shoot him yet, you can't shoot him, he might be a bomber. So those are the 5 included equipment cards you're going to get. You're also going to get those 16 new cards, and that is what you're going to be getting inside of Good Cop, Bad Cop, Bombers, and Traitors. Okery dokery! Good Cop, Bad Cop, Bombers, and Traitors from Overworld Games. Coming to a Kickstarter near you very soon. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros. Let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, the game's not going to be for everybody. If you don't like hidden identity role games, I don't think this new expansion is going to make you, go crazy over the new game. Also, I still think that with anything less than 5 players, this game it's not as good. I mean, you need, in my personal opinion, 6, 7, and 8 is the best way to go, but you can definitely do it with 5, and it's going to be a lot of fun, even though sometimes it feels a little bit unbalanced towards one way or the other, which I personally don't mind, but definitely does bug some people. Last but not least, they do have, I want more expansion cards. That's the main thing. I want more equipment cards, but they are stretch goals, so hopefully they can hit those stretch goals, because I think everybody who enjoys this game really is just like, more equipment cards, because they're awesome. But yeah, moving on to the pros. If you like Good Cop, Bad Cop, back this. Simple as that, no questions asked. This expansion to me really feels like Coup Reformation, where it just adds this extra unique little added twist to an already fantastic game. And it's so much fun pretending that you're a suicide bomber. Okay, I like the traitor aspect, I think that's cool, but the suicide bomber aspect is so much fun to just be like, oh yeah, you're gonna shoot me? You gonna shoot me, bro? I got 2 bombs face up, what you gonna do, son? And it really just gets in people's head, and I love the equipment cards. I like the new equipment cards an awful lot. I mentioned it in the one. I especially like the one that lets you automatically, you play that card and then you change where you're pointing your gun. So everybody's like, oh, the Kingpin's revealed, and they're like, you're pointing at the Kingpin, and they're like, oh, he's a good guy, he's a good guy. Then all of a sudden you're like, not a good guy. It just adds an awesome extra element to an already fun game. I'm gloating about this game. They got some really cool stretch goals planned. I'm excited. I hope they reach all those, with new artwork, new equipment cards, all sorts of good stuff like that. This is a no-brainer. If you like Good Cop, Bad Cop, you need to back this. Day one, do it, share it, because it's a fantastic game. If you've not played Good Cop, Bad Cop, you need to play Good Cop, Bad Cop, then back this, because it is fantastic. And I think this expansion, I included this on my top 30 games of all time earlier last year, and I think this is going to help bump this game up just a little bit more, because it adds just so much, while at the same time adding so little. Does that make sense? It adds just a nice little extra bit that just bumps this game up a little bit more. Overall, Good Cop, Bad Cop, Bombers, and Traitors, fantastic expansion. Check out the Kickstarter link below and click on it and go back up. Tell them Bowers Game Corner sent you. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on the subscribe button down below. Also, in the comments below, let me know what is your favorite equipment card from the original Good Cop, Bad Cop, if you are a fan of it, because there's so many awesome ones in there. I personally like the coffee break one that lets you immediately go first next. I like that one. Takes the action card. But let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube. That was the review for Good Cop, Bad Cop, Bombers, and Traitors. For more reviews and previews, check back at Bowers Game Corner.